Hello friends. Welcome to Kishan's University of Sustainability. We are in line with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Those are 17 goals, and these are all goals with 116 targets. All the governments in the universe and all the corporations and every individual is striving towards to meet the global goals by 2030. So in this video, we are going to know about the Singapore's Green Plan Initiative, how Singapore has made the sustainable plan towards to make green Singapore. So in this scenario, the Singapore, in the name of Singapore's Green Plan 2030, Singapore has taken some of the major bold steps towards sustainable development goals and sustainable development in entire Singapore country. So here, the Singapore government unveiled recently the Singapore's Green Plan 2030. So this is a nationwide movement to advance Singapore's national agenda on sustainable development, and the Singapore government will be introducing an array of new initiatives and targets in the sustainable areas like green finance, sustainability, and solar, electronic vehicles, and innovation, and other major parts. And here, the Singapore Green Plan, which is going to chart ambitious and concrete targets over the next 10 years, which is going to strengthening the Singapore's commitment under the United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda, and as well as the Paris Agreement, which was taken in 2015, and positioning and to achieve the long-term goal, that is net zero emission aspiration. And here, under the Singapore Green Plan 2030, the Singapore government is striving towards to take a bold step towards to make the green government entire Singapore into a sustainable living a place in the planet. So under this, the government has taken some of the targets. So those are add over 130 hectares of new parks and enhance around 170 hectares of existing parks by the year in 2026, and 80% of new buildings to be super low energy buildings from 2030. New registrations of diesel cars and taxis are going to cease from 2025, and plant 1 million more trees and increase solar deployment to 1.5 gigawatts by 2025 and at least 2 gigawatts by 2030, and expand cycling network around 1,320 kilometers by 2030. Increase rail network to 360 kilometers approximately by early 2030. Reduce waste sent to the landfills and per capita day by 20% by 26, and the goal which is going to reduce 30% by 2030, and increase the share of trips taken by on mass public transport to 75% by 2030, and at least 20% of schools in Singapore to be carbon neutral by 2030, and promote sustainable fuels and pace out refrigeration and air conditioning equipment that use high global warming potential refrigerants, and use of 15% less energy in HDB towns by 2030, and produce 30% of nutritional needs by 2030 locally, and introduce enterprise sustainability program, and to create new and diverse job opportunities in the sectors like green finance, sustainability, and consultancy, and risk management and other areas, and be a leading center for green finance in Asia and globally as well, and promote homegrown innovation under research and innovation enterprise plan, that is 2025, and green 80% of buildings by grassroots area by 2030. So these are all the, targets which are framed by Singapore government under the name of Singapore Green Plan 2030. So to achieve those targets, so the Singapore government has framed 5 pillars to achieve the targets which are prescribed just now under the Singapore Green Plan 2030. So these are the 5 key pillars: city, nature, energy, research, sustainable living, green economy, and resilient future. Dear friends, look at that first pillar, that is city nature. So the government, Singapore government, will create a green, livable and sustainable homes for Singaporeans by 2030. So this city nature pillar, which is going to support the sustainable development goals of 11 and 13, 14, 15, 17. 11 deals with sustainable cities and communities. SDG 13 deals with climate action, and SDG 14, which talks about life below water, and SDG 15, that is life on land, and SDG 17, that is cooperation. And in this city nature pillar, the government has set aside 1,000 more hectares of green spaces by 2035, and every household will live just a 10-minute walk from a park, and 1 million more trees will be planted across the islands of Singapore between 2020 and 2030. So which will sequester another 78,000 tons of CO2, and which provide cleaner air to the entire Singapore. And the next pillar, which talks about the energy reset. The Singapore government will use cleaner energy and increase energy efficiency to lower carbon footprint. And this pillar, energy reset, with supporting of SDG 7, that is affordable and clean energy, and SDG 9, which talks about industry innovation and infrastructure, and SDG 11, that is sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, and SDG 13, which deals with climate action, and SDG 17, partnership for the global goals. And in this energy reset, existing HDB towns will use 15% less energy. And in building section, EIT in 2030 targets has taken, and green 80% of buildings by 2030, and 80% of new development to super low energy buildings from 2030. And in transport, um, all new car and taxi registrations to be cleaner energy models from 2030, and target 60,000 charging points nationwide by 2030, including 40,000 in public car parks and 20,000 in private premises. And in the section of green energy, solar energy deployment will portable by 2025, and including covering the rooftops, and solar energy development, which is going to at least 2 gigawatts, and the top green energy sources from Asian region and beyond through electricity imports, and increase efficiency with each new generation of gas-fired power plants to reduce emissions. And next pillar, which talks about green economy, which is going to seek green growth to create new jobs, transform industries, and harness sustainability as a competitive advantage. This pillar, which supporting of SDG 7 and SDG 8, SDG 9, 13, and 17. So in this, introduce an enterprise sustainability program to help enterprises, especially the SMEs, and embrace sustainability and develop capabilities, and create business and job opportunities in the sectors like green finance, sustainability, consultancy, and other areas. And be a leading center for green finance in Asia and global, and promote homegrown innovation under Research Innovation Enterprise Plan 2025. And in this, they have taken Green Finance Action Plan initiative by building a financial system, resilience to environmental risks, developing green finance solutions and markets, and leveraging innovation and technology, and becoming a leading carbon trading and services hub. This is one initiative as taken by Singapore's government under the Singapore Green Plan 2030 and Research Innovation and Enterprise 2025 plan as well as taken by the government to develop new sustainability solutions in the areas of carbon capture, utilization and storage, low carbon, hydrogen, energy efficient materials and solutions for the circular economy. And next, which talks about resilient future pillar, and this pillar which is going to support the SDGs 2, that is zero hunger, and SDG 9, that is industry innovation and infrastructure, and 13 and 17 as well. So in this pillar, the government will put in the place that is defense protection for coastline, and urban heat is one example in this, and 30 by 30 target, which is one initiative which is aims to produce 30% nutritional needs by 2030 locally. And the last pillar which talks about sustainable living. So the government will reduce the carbon emissions, keep environmental clean and green, and make saving resources and energy in the way of life in Singapore. So this sustainable living pillar, which support of SDG 3, that is good health and well-being, and SDG 4, that is quality education, and SDG 6, that is clean water and sanitation, and 9 industry innovation and infrastructure, and 11 sustainable cities and communities, and 12 responsible consumption production. And in this sustainable living, the circular economy, which is focuses on designing ways out of the resources ecosystem and maximizing the value of resources by keeping them in the use of long as well as the government has taken eco stewardship program. This will involve all MOU schools from primary to pre-university, which is going to work towards to 2000 reduction of net carbon emissions from school sector by 2030. And green commutes, another program, making a good progress towards achieving the goal of bringing 8 in 10 households within a 10-minute walk of a train station by 2030. So these are the innovative initiatives which is taken by the Singapore government under the name Singapore Green Plan 2030. I think all the viewers will like the video and will like the content of today's video. And thank you so much for your listening. And if you feel this is informative and very worth, please share with your friends and click on the subscribe button. And if you want to share anything, and go to the comment place and put it on your question on that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Be part in the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Thank you very much.